Hello everyone and welcome back to my review channel. Today I'm going to be doing another movie review. Tony Jaa's Ong-Bak, the Thai Warrior. Ong-Bak, the Thai Warrior. I like this movie a lot. I like it. So let's go on and get into this. Let me see, rated R, 2003 release. International Movie Database gave this a 7.2. Let me see, Rotten Tomatoes gave it like 85% with 84% overall audience rating. Director, Prachya Pinkaew. I shouldn't have said that. Why just butchered it. 105 minutes long. Tony Jaa, actor, who's the man who plays this. Basically, a synopsis. Man in Thailand knows Muay-Thai, goes and finds what was stolen. It's like a Buddha head, which to the village means a lot. But okay, so that begins with like village men in this little village. The men in this village going up, climbing a tree, and they're climbing a tree to get this flag at the top, and you have to get back down. The winner of that match is Ting. It was a game in front of like a little village of the audience. Ting wins, which is Tony Jaa's character. He wins this, and that was it, yeah. So, after that, it shows Ting and his uncle, while Ting, like, trains a little bit of his Muay Thai, just like there. Then his master walks up, his sensei, his monk, who's a monk in this village, walks up and says, "Hey, this is why I trained you," explains, and then walks away. And then uncle explains a little further who was there, why that is so. He basically asks him not to use what he's been trained to do, Muay Thai. So okay, while this is happening, or like the next day, let me see. There was a man that came into town looking for a Buddha or a Buddha of some sort of worth some money, and the guy. He was there, wanted to buy it from him, and he didn't want to. So later that night, the thief, like, steals the Buddha head in this village when the uncle sees this happen. And so you know this guy, his name's Don. So Don, which knew someone in the village, and they knew who Don was. And the uncle saw him take it, and now they know. So, they don't know what to do. The village doesn't know what to do, and Ting decides to go look for it, find Don, and look for the head himself. So the village gives up whatever little money they can, and he's on his way. So now he goes to Bangkok. They know he's in Bangkok. Don is. So he goes searching Bangkok, huge place, but he actually finds a friend of his. Ting finds a friend of his named George, who at first doesn't even act like he knows him, but then sees he has a little cash, so he invites him back to his house, and then Ting's friend George steals his money, and which directly after Ting figures it, doesn't take long, Ting realizes what he's doing, is able to find him, even though he goes off on his bike. George goes off on his bike. Ting's able to find his bike at a fight club sort of arena place. Almost like a dance place, too. But, finds him there, tries to get his money back. Ting already spent it on betting for the fight. So, George already betted on the fight. So when Ting actually walks up to try to get his money back, he accidentally walks onto the arena or not the platform, it's just a little floor, but he actually walks onto it, and they think it's a new challenger. So he has to start to fight, he doesn't really want to, he just wants his money back, but with one move, he's able to take this guy out. One knee, it was awesome. It was completely awesome just to see that. By this time, there's these two people betting on in the box office, two main promoter guys. Well, one's the main guy there. He's the main evil promoter dude, and there's the dude next to him who's they just betting against fights. But they're in the box office, they see it, and the dude's the main, it's funny because he smokes so many cigarettes, he has one of those voice machines onto his neck. So the whole time he talks is like that. And when there's one time in this movie, he actually laughs like that. Completely hilarious / creepy. It was so funny. Let me see. So yeah. So now Ting won the money, but he didn't want the money that he won from the fight. He just wanted the money that was his. So he went to the bookie and just like got his money back and walks out. This irritates George a little bit, but I digress. They walk out. They're walking through the city, and they happen upon the couple of groups that George pissed off. The couple of gangs that like George made mad. So now they have to like run through the city away from the gangs. Ting, George, and this girl that they're with, which is George's friend. So now they're running through the city, and you get to basically this is just set up the ways to see Ting or Tony Jaa, how he maneuvers like up and over and around things. Great stuff, but that's why it's there. Just to see him go through something or go around something, and just like his agility, his ability to just maneuver. Okay, so that's why that's there. Great stuff to see. Keep looking down for my notes. Let me see. Yeah. Afterwards, George, after like saving George, Ting does from his group. George says, "Okay, I'll take you to Dawn. Just like save me from these people." Afterwards, George takes him back to the fight club because that's where Dawn usually shows up anyway. That's where you saw him when he was there at the fight club. They just missed each other the first time around. So you know Dawn like shows up here. George says like he's likes to be here. Ting this time around gets goaded into fighting. He doesn't want to, but he gets goaded into it. Basically, you put your hands on a woman, it's fight time. So he gets to fight this guy, what, Big Bear or something, and ends up after like he actually ends up fighting like 2 more people after this. So he gets goaded into fighting the first guy, and then after winning that, he gets like has to fight like 2 more people. It just doesn't stop. So and each fight was better than the last, so it just got better. That was awesome, great Muay Thai fight scenes with Tony Jaa. Beautiful, great stuff. But he's just there to find Dawn. After the last fight, the crowd, like Ting wins, obviously. The crowd cheers, and Ting was able to see Dawn right at the very end and chases after him. Right when this happens, the cops show up. Funny part, the guy that announces all the fighters in the ring, he's there, and once the cops show up, he's like, music! And like he just starts dancing to DJ music, like real quick. And it was just like so hilarious to see that. Because you know that's like that's how they get away with it, because people think they're a club, and it's just to see them switch like that, it was funny to watch. So now you see Ting, George, girl, Ting chasing after Dawn. This shows a little bit more. Let me see, the chase. Shows a lot of the chase, just like, it's pretty much, what was this? No. Yeah, it's just like, sorry, just a little, nothing happened. But Ting and George catch up to Dawn at his apartment, So they find his apartment. I don't know why they didn't just go here in the first place. But they find him at his apartment, or they followed him to his apartment probably, and just in a tussle, Dawn was able to escape down the hallway and onto one of these little, like, 3-wheel motor carts that you would just, like, haul people in, you know, across Bangkok. So Dawn gets in one, Ting follows in one, and the rest of, like, Dawn's gang of people, like, gets in one, and they all follow. So now you got, like, a chase scene of, like, motorized carts down the Bangkok interstate. This chase scene lasts a little while, but it ended up with Dawn and Ting and the same one going over it into the like riverbank, in which Dawn was able to escape again because Ting got distracted by, he sees underwater a host of just artifacts, Buddha artifacts, heads, monuments, statues, stuff like that, and which now gets the police involved. So now they All the police are involved. They're hauling up all the artifacts. Let me see. Which I should say that, like, right before he got chased out of his apartment, Don got chased out of his apartment, he had this girl in his apartment that he overdosed because he pushed so much drugs on her. And when George and Ting gets in there, George actually says her name, but it never comes through the movie, like, how he knows her. I don't remember it ever mentioning, like, how he knew her, but anyways. So after the chase scene, after the cops show up for the artifacts, oh wait, I do want to mention this one more thing. Right during the chase scene of the chase scene with the motor carts, there's this, again, there's silly explosions with this, where it had, like, no reason why there would be a huge explosion, but it was kind of funny stuff to watch. Anyways, there's this one part where one of the motor carts go over, launches, like, over over Ting's bike somehow, over the bridge, and you get to see, like, the shot from under the bridge onto where the little platform where the cart got to. But under the bridge, it says something. It says, someone wrote down on the bridge, Hi, Luke Benson. Yeah. Hi, Luke Benson. Hi, Luke Beeson. We're waiting for you. Hi, Luke Beeson. We're waiting for you. I looked this up, see if there's anything. This guy is actually connected to the film. It's like producer or, like, help with... Oh, I'm sorry. He's like the owner of, like, Europa, which is one of the production companies back here that put it out. So, he did something, but I guess he wasn't there. And they're just making fun of him. Anyways, back to let's get on board with this. Ting gets... Fight. Okay. So after the cops show up and find all the artifacts, it shows you where Don went. Don, or, like, really, either or Don went to the club promoter, or the club promoter found Don. Either way, they're together, and Don and the promoter's just, like, belittling and berating Don for, like, getting the cops involved. You like how he's messed up, and then he asks him what he knows about the villain, about Ting. About basically the fighter. So now, after that, the fight promoter, you see the thugs actually kidnap George and the girl, just to relay a message back to Ting. Lets George go to relay that message saying, you fight, we'll give you the girl back. So they agree. They're keeping the girl hostage. So now you get the fight between Ting and, like, this big dude that's been, like, the main guard to the promoter. Before the bout, they're having a rope fight. So they tie ropes on each other's arms, fingers, and between the fingers and everything. It's like this huge, thick rope. But before the bout, you see the challenger, not Ting, but the other guy, shoot himself up with something. You don't know what it is, but you believe it's just to make him stronger. So now the fight happens, and quickly enough, like, Ting gets, like, beat and loses. So now it's after the fight, you know, and a guy in a bike suit, metal, like, bike helmet, say, hey, if you want the girl, follow me. Follows them to this little shack right off the road, way down the road, and where the promoter's just hanging out there saying, hey, I know you threw the fight, here's your reward money. So just messing with them, just saying, hey, you kind of screwed me now again. So now he leaves, the promoter leaves with most of the bikers, not before telling them just to kill them all. Kill the girl, George, and Ting. So they're leaving. A couple of the bike dudes are right outside. A couple of them inside. Ting is able to escape with George and the girl there. They're all able to escape. This involves the bikers outside. So now you have fight scenes. You had a quick one inside, just a tussle, just to take them out. Then the outside ones is really good because this one actually involved flaming legs. Really cool stuff. Like, again, sweet Muay Thai action, now you got to involve Tony Jaa's leg kicks on fire. Very cool stuff. I hated to have been the stuntman for this, because he kneed him right in the neck with a flaming kick. Now, the biker dude tries to get away. I pretty much knew. You pretty much know who this guy is. You could guess if you watch enough movies. It was Dawn, but you kind of want to be made to think, like, who is this guy? Anyway, he always has his helmet on. He doesn't get away thanks to Tony Jaa. One knee to the helmet just breaks the helmet in two. Awesome. Great stunt work. I mean, knowing it was going to happen, but it was great stunt work. So, Tony Jaa asked him, hey, where's the Buddha head? Where'd they go? And tells him where they went, to the cave. Where the cave was at. So now, there's actually a funny scene in that fight scene with at the shack, where George has to jump out of a window onto the guy on a bike to like stop, like so he doesn't get away or just to stop him. He jumps through a window, and the funny thing is about this, because it's obviously a stunt double with like his hair dyed, slicked back. It's really funny stuff just to see this. Like, did I rewind that? I'm rewind that, and I looked at it. Yeah. Tries not to show his face, of course. It's just like stunt double. Okay, so now they go to the cave. They find the cave, see guards out front, and see like a guard just at the entrance. So, right after George take care of the one dude at the entrance, Tony Jaa takes out like the 4 or 5 dudes that's in front of the cave. So that's pretty cool. Then they walk into the cave. They see the guy there digging. They see the promoter there with his henchmen and a bunch of workers. They actually find this big, huge monument to Buddha, or Buddha statue, and they're taking that apart as well. Very disrespectful stuff. They try to take its head off. To sell it or whatever they do. It's an artifact. This infuriates Tony Jaa, but he's in the middle of fighting all these other workers, so there's a big fight scene with all these other workers and diggers. But he's trying to get up there, and let me see. Yeah, he involves, let me see. Really cool stuff. 5K involving metal staff. Like, he uses a metal staff in these fights. Also, what I would probably best describe as wooden batons, like square rectangle batons. Awesome, cool fight scenes right here. So he actually gets there, then he has to fight that main dude again, and the promoter tells him, is like, watch out, he threw the last fight. So, you know, he's not going to be holding back. He was holding back last time. So, you fight some more workers and henchmen before getting to the main boss again, which is this fighter dude. So we got their fight again. They're fighting, just breaking stuff apart. The guy loses at first, and he gets tinged. He gets all the way up to stop the diggers from digging right at the head. So he goes all the way up, but then you see the guy come back. He shoots himself up with like 4 or 5 needles again, so you know he's like trying to get super pumped. Shoots himself up, and then like the fight goes off. Very awesome fight scenes. Okay, I mean, if I tried to describe it, I'd probably just ruin it. Great fight scenes, lasted long. Love this stuff. Legs, knees, bows, all that good stuff. Muay-Thai. During the fight, Ting eats the herbs in the capsule that Master had given him at the very beginning of the movie. So he eats these is where like he eats the herbs. Let's see. So after this fight, after like obviously Ting wins this little battle, the boss tries to come over and try to like kill Tony Jaa because he's pretty weak at this moment, and he also tries to like take off the Buddha himself. He takes the Buddha head that they've been traveling and trying to get, and he almost smashes it, but thanks to George saves it. And then like he actually hits George a couple times in this. But while like George is being hit and he's saving it, but he didn't save it. The large Buddha head behind the boss promoter is wobbly, and then it falls off. Falls off right onto the boss head promoter, killing him instantly, of course. After that, it shows the George. It shows him under the rubble too, so it's like a sad part, not a nice part. It's a sad part showing him under the rubble. He dies there as well, underneath the rubble of like the large head and everything. So he's one last thing he says to Ting back to like say, hey, say this to my dad back at the village, and there you go, passes away. At the very end, it shows Ting's safe return to the village, with everybody in the village celebrating his safe return, and that the Buddha head is back and safely where it belongs. Because they were very depressed, thinking that without the Buddha head, there's going to be a drought, there's not going to be any harvest, of course, But now the Buddha head's back, everything's safe, everything's good, and everything's right. That's how it is. I would like to say one last thing. The end credits to this was probably one of the funniest things. During the whole soundtrack, you got these weird Indian music themes, like techno or, I don't know, whatever. And at the very end, it's just, in the credits, it's just weird rap song. And it just goes like, do you know King James? Oh, he went to Hollywood just to get the Dollarwood. And it's just, watching this was hilarious, because I was looking it up, and there's different versions go out, and like, this was like a version that was just, went everywhere. This was the one that was set out in UK to America and everything. It was just funny to hear this song chime up in the credits when you don't hear anything like this during the whole film. Just this weird rap song. Oh, it was just funny. It was just funny. But hey, that was it. That's how it ends. I love this movie. I thought it was great. Phenomenal. I mean, it wasn't one of the best movies in the world, but not even one of the greatest action films, but it did have explosions. Even if it's funny little ones that was really B-rated. But it was great choreography with the fight scenes. Awesome stuff here. Tony Jaa does a phenomenal work. And all this choreography to this is phenomenal. Great stuff. I would suggest anyone to rent this movie. If you like it, buy it. You definitely should. You can find it anywhere for under like $10 now. So it's definitely worth it to me to buy now, especially with like if it's cheap. But I would suggest anyone, if you like action, if you like fight scenes with like kicks, bows, not as much weaponry, but it's in there. But if you like that, rent it, watch it. If you really like it, I would definitely suggest buy it. I bought it. I love it. Yeah, there we go. Thank you guys for watching. Leave any comments, suggestions, anything down at the bottom. I'll sure to get back to you as soon as I can. Thank you for your time. You guys have a great day, and